Breaking news. A video reportedly showing the murder of Jeffrey Epstein has surfaced on the internet. It seems to show the former billionaire laying on the ground surrounded by assassins. Now we know why the videos from Epstein's cell have gone missing. Not only the videos from the night of the murder, but the videos from the first attack in Epstein's cell as well. Now we have the proof we need to start asking the questions. Who ordered the hit on Epstein, ladies and gentlemen? And there's plenty of suspects, to say the least. Every VIP out there was basically pictured, filmed, compromised by Epstein. And reports are that Epstein was blackmailing his billionaire friends, and that's where all of the money came from. We heard about the former owner of Victoria's Secret, all of that. He basically gave his $50 million mansion to Epstein out there in New York. That mega mansion, that house of horrors, one of the major pedo stops out there in New York, New Babylon. And of course, there's just no shortage of suspects in this case, which makes it so dangerous for everyone involved. And of course, the media is hush hush. They're covering up the crimes because they're all in it together, like a bunch of Charlie Manson groupies. And this came out in black and white in the WikiLeaks in the 2016 Podesta files. And, they were all just basically rounding up children, raping them, murdering them, and the like. And people were laughing until they arrested Epstein. And then they whacked Epstein, and nobody's laughing anymore. If you're just joining us, remarkable footage of what appears to be Epstein murdered in a prison cell. Looks like the murderers took some footage of that hit. And there's certainly more footage out there, but we know that tons of footage is missing. The police are like, we don't know what happened to it. The FBI couldn't tell you. The Department of Justice, nowhere to be found, to say the least. Other big news stories. Agenda 21 has hit Sydney, Australia. Major, crisis unfolding right now, and there's just no escape. People are locked in with their mortgages, locked in with their jobs, and you just saw some before and after footage of the bay out there. You can't even see that famous bridge that you always see, for New Year's and the like. And people were protesting. It was so sad. They were protesting in front of the Prime Minister's house. The Prime Minister's gone on vacation. He can't take the smoke, so he's out of there. And, you got people crying. And it's only now do they realize that it's too late. And, Sydney should be an example for everybody out there, because this is going to happen to a city near you soon. It's already happening in California. And there's just no escape. And you can cry and you can protest and you can hope that, that they're going to change something, but it's part of the program. It's right there on the Georgia Guidestones, and it's really sad to see. Look at this guy. Saved Jeffrey Epstein from facing the possibility of life in prison. And Trump made that guy the Secretary of Labor. Can you believe that? Plenty of people have gone missing over the years. Not just Seth Rich, not just Andrew Breitbart, not just the guy from Gray State, not just, all of the other people in the body count, the missing witnesses, et cetera, et cetera. But, it's just profound how deep the rabbit hole goes here. We're also getting reports of dirty Santas out there literally being arrested for molesting children right there in front of crowds. And we did a report on that in the archives. Be sure to check out the video archives. Feel free to like and share our content feel free to mirror our content, start a page, and just re-upload. But we're up against a cult of death out there, ladies and gentlemen. They're poisoning the food, the air, the water. There's just like nowhere to run. It's going to take a major revolt to topple this beast system. And if you don't, they're going to roll out their Terminators and plug you into their Skynet. It's coming. We're getting some disturbing news on the Tessa Majors case, and seems like they let the suspect go. The suspect in this case escaped police custody, and this is just another example of what's going on in New York. The guilty get off free, and the innocent are murdered, and the takeover is nearly complete. The invasion has already begun. The replacement, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the FBI is neck deep in all of this, planting evidence, staging coups. They become the Gestapo, the SS in America. No credibility. All of their cases should be thrown out. All of their evidence thrown out. The entire organization dismantled. Here's another example of what happens to decent people out there. The WikiLeaks, the Assange case, the Bradley Manning case. Very sad state of affairs in America these days. Endless wars, Gladio B events, coups, censorship. We're just waiting for the FEMA camps, and they'll be here as soon as they roll out their Terminators, their Robocops. As soon as they automate the workforce, that's coming. It's going to look like Soylent Green out there, to say the least, in just a few years. How many people have seen that movie, Soylent Green? The unemployment rate is going to get so massive due to the automation that people are going to be sleeping on the streets and basically eating each other. And that's the plan. And right now people are celebrating the situation, and they think like it's legit, but it's not what it seems out there. And this is this is basically part of the illusion before it all comes crashing in. And it's called the American dream because you'd have to be asleep to believe it, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming for that money back. They're coming for your 401ks. They just want you to basically stay asleep until they can roll out their Terminators, their automation, their clones. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen the clones on TV? It's pretty wild. And we've covered this in previous broadcasts, and it seems like pretty much all of these people on TV are like Westworld or something to that effect. Clones, droids, you name it, it's possible. At this stage, I don't think anybody would be surprised by the true nature of the program. But everybody's seen the clones, the Hillary clones, the Hillary bot. After her collapse in 2016, September 11th, no less. I mean, she just came bouncing back. It was pretty, surreal, to say the least. And that's why it's basically going to take a huge public explosion to take these droids out. Otherwise they'll just keep coming back. And there's no telling how many different things might have happened throughout history, and we just never knew about it because a clone basically saved the day, if you will. That's really besides the point. Getting back to the big story, ladies and gentlemen, the Georgia Guidestones, they're exterminating you. And of course, we've got the Epstein murder video right there. Only a short clip has been released so far. Tells us that there must be plenty more where this came from. Of course, all of the video is missing. Nothing has been released, not from the first attack, not the second attack, nothing from inside the prison. We've got no pictures of anything other than the mugshot. So it's really hard to say what happened to Epstein. The big question here is who actually did it, ladies and gentlemen. And, there's a long list of potential suspects here, former presidents, current presidents, as well as billionaires and, other heads of state and the like. And it's really, there's so many people that had everything to lose, and we're talking billions, power, you name it, that it's impossible to tell. But I think that these are our three main suspects: Andrew and the Klan, the Trump Organization, as well as the Clinton Foundation. So those would definitely be, the first three suspects on the list. The FBI is sure to arrive and give everybody immunity agreements, confiscate, the evidence. Beware of these dirty Santas out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's been quite a few convictions. Quite literally. Check out the video archives. We covered this. And, who seems the most suspect right now? I mean, look, we just can't narrow it down more than these three. The Trumps, the Clintons, and the Andrews out there. But everybody has, a connection to Epstein. Everybody had something to lose, and they might have all been working together to take out Epstein. Of course, we don't have an FBI that can really look into it. No Department of Justice. In fact, there's no justice in America whatsoever. No free speech. The food is unsafe to eat. Other countries don't want our food. And the whole thing is a catastrophe. Drug crisis, open borders. What's next? Ladies and gentlemen, what is coming next? If it's already this bad now, how bad do you think it's going to get? And if the Georgia Guidestones are, any indication, people should be out there right now, doing it like 1776. And, that's part of our history. And sometimes, that's the only way to kind of set things straight. And, this president should have done that on day one. He's proven that he's part of, this criminal organization. He's, trying to grab your guns, locking up Assange, rolling out the 5G. He's not locking up Hillary, Obama, and the like. Didn't build the wall. Look, I mean, there's just tons of reasons to suspect the worst from this administration, and they just haven't been able to, drain this swamp. Looks like the swamp is just basically, had its way with the Donald. We'd almost want to say sodomized. It really looks like Nancy and company have sodomized Donald Trump out there, and they didn't even use the Astroglide. It was just, solid. You know what I mean? Straight, rough kind of shit. And look, I mean, people can celebrate that shit if you want to, but I thought we were supposed to be tired of winning. Remember that one? Remember that one? Are you tired of winning yet? You feel like you're a big winner out there? That we're fully in control. This guy is basically hiring every shill he can get his hands on, right? Selling you out quicker than what happened, and people are lining up to celebrate the fucking the loss one after another. And it's humiliating to see this president just basically walk around with toilet paper stuck on his shoes, and just basically putzing around, impotent, ineffective, unable to lead. It's a travesty. And everybody's got to deal with the tweets and the like, and it's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous. I think that this president should resign and clear the way for a grassroots candidate from the conservative side. And of course, none of these shills that you see on TV are going to make the cut when it comes to our standards. We don't see a single one of them that we would endorse at this stage. And that's why we say, vote Ron Johnson, because we're the only ones that'll deport these libtards and, make America free again. You vote for anybody else, you're fucked, right? You listen to anybody else, you're fucked. I guarantee it, you're fucked. And it's not that we want to do this report. We have to do this report. Nobody else is capable of putting out, the truth, putting out, the information that matters out there. And everybody else is just selling you the lies. And the questions, that people should be asking themselves are right now is, where are the Epstein tapes? Not only the tapes of his murder in prison, but, the tapes of Epstein and these VIPs raping, children, and like, where are these Epstein tapes? Where's the evidence? And it's probably, in the Hoover building with, with the rest of it. If they haven't burned him, burned it like the, like the Hillary evidence. Again, if you're just joining us, major travesty is unfolding right now in Australia, and it's a sign of things to come. Before, after, and people out there are protesting, they're marching, they're doing sit-ins. Of course, the police are arresting the protesters. You must accept the eugenics. And, it's too late. For those people, they're fucking goners, And look, I mean, this is what you get for, basically putting in place, a shill system, an anti-Christian system at its core that's advocating, abortions and Sodom and Gomorrah. And, they can come on TV like they're Prime Sinister and pretend like, they're preaching the Bible. But at the end of the day, they're the Judas in disguise. And this is what they get. This is what they get for their, LGBT parades. This is what they get for, making the murder of children lawful. And now they're wondering, no protest will resolve the issue. And, the beast system isn't listening, and people are getting what they deserve. It's very, unfortunate. But I think this is a wake-up call to everybody else out there before it's too late, because these kind of things always start with like one city, then another city, and then another city, and then it's like a continent, and then it's like a hemisphere, and then before you know it, people are like, can we go to the moon? Can we go to Mars? Can we escape? Can we start new? And that's exactly what this elite is going to do. They're going to start their Elysium. They're going to leave everybody on this prison planet, and they're going to set up base somewhere where it's all nice and clean, and there's no crime, and there's no immigrants, and it's just them, and it's not you. It's a big club, and you're not in it. And these people are, looking to doom us all. You just can't escape that fact, ladies and gentlemen. And they're not gonna give up willingly. People really need to take this country back, old school style, 1776, and that's in every country. There's no escape, from this system as it sits right now. They run the corporations, they run the media, they run the government, they run the money supply, they own it all. You got nothing out there. You're just basically a prisoner in your own home, hoping that they don't come crashing down on you, or something worse. And look, people in Australia right now are paying the ultimate price. There's no escape. There's no escaping this eugenics out there. And, it's been like 2 months they've been sitting in a gas chamber, and they're just basically keeling over in front of their, city hall, in front of their parliament building. And they're like, please do something. It's too late. The time to protest, was before. Now it's too late for these people out there. And, this is a lesson for everyone. Before it's too late for the rest of us, we need to do something. Or else, your city will be the next Sydney. And then there'll be the Terminators, the iRobots, the Robocops, the Slaughterbots, the Skynet, the AI, the Matrix. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. You just got to hit the brakes. I mean, have you ever been on a road trip and you're just heading in the wrong direction? You're going to turn around. You're going to go the opposite way. Otherwise, you're just wasting time, and, eventually you're just going to run out of gas. And then what are you going to do? So, Before it's too late, people really need to organize in their communities, take their towns back, take their state back, take their countries back, little by little, and forget this shill system that you see on television. No matter what country you're in, Republican, Democrat, Tory, Labor, liberal, whatever you might be out there, they've basically hypnotized you into subscribing to their propaganda, into their system, so that they can exterminate you. And it's a ruthless system, and you can't even imagine the length at which they'll go to lie to you, to set you up, to soft kill you, to make it seem normal. And that's what these people excel at, is the soft kill. They just make it seem normal, and nobody can hear you scream. Nobody's going to take you seriously. Oh, you're getting gassed, you're getting poisoned, you're getting dosed, And look, we're hardcore against this 5G because, it's basically at the forefront of the eugenics program. And when they start, broadcasting in the 30 gigahertz range, even low doses will induce cancer in 1 out of 3 people. And that's been proven since the 1970s. We've got the reports. And it's funny because, all of this stuff was laid out in black and white and early scientific reports in the 70s and the 80s, undoubted, non-ionizing radiation is mutagenic, causes cancer. There's just no arguing that fact. And it all depends on the power density and the frequency. And, now they're starting to roll out, the big guns. They're starting to roll out the 5G, the hardcore frequencies that are just going to, hit you the worst. And of course, they'll just say, oh, well, it, looks natural. It must be your time to go. And, that's what, that's the worst part about it, because there's just nothing you can do. And nobody can hear you scream. The censorship's out there. They're all telling you it's safe. Don't worry. Go back to shopping. It's pretty irritating. And it's supposed to be irritating, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, new footage of the Epstein murder has been released on the internet. And it proves that they've got the footage somewhere. Now, obviously, this guy isn't hanging from, anything. And he's surrounded by assassins. We see at least 2 people in this video, creeping up on Epstein. Looks like, they're slamming their fists together or something like that, celebrating right there or something like, and, it looks like they just beat him more or less, or strangled him, brought him into a room and the like. And of course, they're refusing to release any footage whatsoever. They would rather claim that it's missing, been destroyed, accidentally deleted, than actually show you what's on there. Because if you saw, the videos, then they'd be looking for suspects. And now nobody's looking for suspects. No video, no suspects. They show you the video, you're looking for suspects. All of a sudden, that's going to lead you to somebody, and that's what they don't want. So the question is, who did it, ladies and gentlemen? And, that's the next step. So everybody should like and share. Put this video out everywhere you can. Mirror it. Start your own page on Facebook or ScrewTube and, re-upload these videos. And you'll probably reach more people than we will. And, be sure to promote your pages and your content out there. Distribution is as important as production. We'll leave it there for this broadcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Check out our website, stfnreport.com. If you'd like to help us reach more people, be sure to support our cause at patreon.com/STF News. Every little bit helps. It takes a lot of work to put these broadcasts together, and with the censorship, it's even more difficult. So we appreciate your support out there. Like and share. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.